All right, let's talk about the idea of nesting. So nesting refers to one element being inside of another element. Remember, an element is a start tag, an end tag, and everything that's in between. So this entire thing right here is the paragraph element. This entire thing right here is the address element. And between those, that start tag and end tag, in this case, you actually do have elements, that void elements in this case, break elements, that are inside of this element. That's common for HTML. In fact, you often have hundreds of different elements, all of them inside of other elements. So let's take an example. Let's say if we wanted to emphasize this paragraph or this sentence within the paragraph. Now we have an emphasis section right here, this element which is emphasis inside of the paragraph section. Let's go even further and say we wanted to say something is strong within this. Now we can do strong inside of the M tag, which is inside of the P tag. What we cannot do is this. We can't have a strong tag that starts there and say ends here. That's just no good, because it's not clear right now whether strong is inside of M or M is inside of strong. They're crossing, so that just doesn't make sense. So it's important that we make sure that it's very clear that this is the M element and that there is a strong element inside of it, but you can't have something that's partially inside or is not clear whether or not it's inside. It's important that these things line up. Let's talk a little bit about some of the common containers that everything goes into. One of them is HTML. Generally, the whole HTML page is one element, which is the HTML element. So at the root or at the base of all of these elements is HTML, and everything goes into that. And in fact, on every page you're going to have two and only two elements inside of HTML, the head element and the body element. We'll talk in more detail about what goes into these two, but for now everything on our page is going to be going into the body element. And you'll see I'm going to indent these. This again has no effect because it's white space, right? But what it does is it tells me where things are starting and where they're ending. So by doing that indenting, it's much easier to see that the body element is from there to there, and that the head element is from here to here, and that the entire HTML element is from here to here. In other words, the computer doesn't care if we indent, but for our own sanity, it's often very helpful to indent when you're going into one more layer of nesting.